How's it going, YouTubers? Have you guys heard about this Iraq militia stone youths to death for emo style? At least 14 youths have been stoned to death in Baghdad in the past 3 weeks in what appears to be a campaign by Shiite militants against youths wearing Western-style emo clothes and haircuts, security and hospital sources say. To be honest, and I don't even have a clue what emo is, but something has drawn me to this article, so let me proceed. Militants in Shiite neighborhoods where the stonings have taken place circulated lists on Saturday naming more youths targeted to be killed if they do not change the way they dress. The killings have taken place since Iraqi Interior Ministry drew attention to the emo subculture last month, labeling it Satanism and ordering a community police force to stamp it out. Emo is a form of punk music developed in the United States. Fans are known for their distinctive dress, often including tight jeans, t-shirts with logos, and distinctive long or spiky haircuts. At least 14 bodies of youths have been brought to 3 hospitals in eastern Baghdad, bearing signs of having been beaten to death with rocks or bricks. Security and hospital sources told Reuters under condition they not be identified because they were not authorized to speak to the media. 9 bodies were brought to the hospital in Sadr City, a vast, poor Shiite neighborhood. 3 were brought to East Baghdad's main Al-Kindi hospital, and 2 were brought to the central morgue, medical sources said. 6 other young people, including 2 girls, were wounded in beatings intended as warnings, the security sources said. Last week, I signed the death certificate of 3 of those young people, and the reason for death I wrote in my own hand was severe skull fractures, a doctor at Al-Kindi Hospital told Reuters. A very powerful blow to the head caused these fractures, which totally smashed the skull of the victim. A leaflet distributed in the Shiite Baya district of East Baghdad, seen by Reuters on Saturday, had 24 names of youths targeted for killing. We strongly warn you to all the obscene males and females, if you will not leave this filthy work within 4 days, the punishment of God will descend upon you at the hand of the Mujahideen, the leaflet said. Another leaflet in Sadr City bore 20 names. We are the brigades of anger. We warn you, if you do not get back to sanity and the right path, you will be killed, it said. In a statement last month, the Interior Ministry said it was monitoring the emo phenomenon, or Satanism, which it said was spreading through schools, particularly among teenage girls. They wear tight clothes that bear paintings of skulls. They use school implements with skulls and wear rings in their noses and tongues, as well as other weird appearances, it said. After reports of the stonings circulated on Iraq media, the Interior Ministry said this week that no murders on its files could be blamed on the reaction to emo. Many media have reported fabricated news reports about the so-called emo phenomenon, stories about tens of young people killed in various ways, including stoning, the ministry said in a statement on Thursday. No murder cases has been recorded with the Interior Ministry on so-called emo grounds. All cases of murder recorded were for revenge, social and common criminal reasons. Iraq's leading Shiite clerics have condemned the stonings. Abdul Rahim al-Raqabi, Baghdad representative for Iraq's most influential Shiite cleric, Ali al-Sistani, called the killings terrorist attacks. Such a phenomenon, which has spread among young people, should be tackled through dialogue and peaceful means and not through physical liquidation, Raqabi told Reuters. In a response to questions on his website on Saturday, Muqtada al-Sadr, a Shiite cleric whose followers dominate Sadr City, described emo youths as crazy and fools, but said they should be dealt with only through the law. They are plague on Muslim society, and those responsible should eliminate them through legal means, he said. Abu Ali Arubai, a leading Sadr aide in Sadr City, said the cleric's followers had nothing to do with the killings. In the issue and in all such problems, we always use peaceful and educational methods to correct any wrongdoings. We are not connected in any way to those groups' allegedly responsibility for killing those young people. In the years after the fall of Saddam Hussein, most of Baghdad's neighborhoods were under the firm grip of Sunni and Shiite religious militia, which enforced strict dress codes. Today, the militia have largely disappeared. Baghdad is far more peaceful, and many youths experiment with Western styles, although much of Iraqi society remains conservative. On the street of Baghdad, people said they had heard of the killings through the media. Many expressed disapproval of the emo style, but said murder was no way to respond. I saw them a couple weeks ago, a bunch of girls, high school age, walking together, dressed in black. They had long black eye makeup and bracelets with skulls and chains on their handbags with skulls, said Abdullah, 31. If they are close friends who have something in common, that's all right. If other things we hear about them are true, like sucking each other's blood or worshiping the devil, that is not accepted in our society. But I think this is just a trend to imitate the West. Okay, now what is emo? Emo is a fad, a musical form, a fashion sense, subculture, and a lifestyle. The name comes from the musical genre called emotive hardcore. The term emo itself is usually stated by emos as being short for emotional. The people in this lifestyle are usually in their early teens through the early 20s. They are mostly easily identified by their fashion, consisting of black clothes, straight black hair, usually covering one eye, black frame glasses, tight, usually dark clothing. Makeup is common but not required. In both sexes and gender roles, some somewhat blurred, and great deal of androgyny being indicated. Emo music often speaks of emotional pain, self-injury, suicide, hopelessness, and death. There are, of course, variations as there are in any fad, but the main themes remain. Emo originated in the 1980s as a form of punk music with more introspective lyrics. As time wore on, the music changed into a style and a subculture. Many fans of the original emo are rather dismayed at what has happened to their genre. Many suggest that the original emo is dead. It is the current incarnation of emo that is addressed here. Why should I care about this emo thing? The emo fad seems to be a bit different in several very important ways. The emo culture, in its glorification of self-injury, seems to have caused an epidemic of self-injury. Self-injury is the intentional cutting, burning, or otherwise harming oneself without the intent of suicide. Self-injury is usually done under the guise of releasing feelings or to feel anything at all. Another concern is the increase in the teen suicide rate recently announced by the Center of Disease Control. Please take some time to familiarize yourself with the emo subculture. As mentioned earlier, my point is that the emo fad is different than the others that preceded it because kids in this subculture are scarring themselves and in some cases dying. Essentially, the kids who partake in the emo fad, their music, images, and dress are all telling us something. When are we going to pay attention to what they are telling us? The emo styles on the males make them look like women. The long hair, tight clothing, and the makeup. And both the men and the women's appearance are very gothic-like. There's without question an appearance of something sinister about them, especially when you consider the fact that one of their fashion symbols is the skull and bones. Note, skull and bones is actually an occult, which is a long-established secret society who are on the dark side and are said to worship Satan and possibly practice black magic. The hairstyles that these kids wear is also interesting because many of them wear their hair so that it covers one of their eyes, and the covering of the eye, or the display of one eye, is a known symbol of the Illuminati, which is also an occult. Any parent who has a kid with this appearance should begin to ask questions and get involved immediately, because their dress may be an indication to where they are headed, or perhaps where they are right now. Regardless of which one it is, view their dress as a cry for help, because Satan may be playing with their emotions, and he may have or may be on the way to possessing their souls. This could be why some of the kids are practicing self-mutilation. Okay, YouTubers, there you have it. I believe this story just gives us another indication of the types of satanic spiritual threats that are out there right now. Spread the word or this video to parents who you know have teenage kids so that they are at least aware of this emo phenomenon, so that they can try and protect their kids. Thanks for watching. Peace and love.